Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. Welcome back at long last to Decidedly Vanilla. How are you guys doing today? I'm starting off this episode surrounded by slime, kind of as a reminder to myself that I really do need to do something about this whole slime mess over here. It's gotten to the point where I now have 3 slime heads in reserve down here, just in case anybody else on the server feels like cutting a deal the way Mythical Sausage did. Let's see, we can pop those up in here. Yes, there we go, 3 of those, and plenty of slime left over, which reminds me, I do need to head over to the shop at Spawn and see if we've made any more sales, because it has been a little while since we've tested that out. Now, you might be wondering what is going on with the videos, why they have not been popping up too often, and that is because I've been waiting for my PC to arrive. I managed to put together a budget to get myself a brand new PC, and let me tell you, my friends, now it has arrived, I am absolutely awestruck with this thing. It is freaking fantastic. Like, for a start, you're probably noticing a bit of a hike in quality of the videos. I'm able to record in 1080p at 60 FPS with absolutely no problems. And in fact, if I press F3 right now, you'll notice we're rocking a cool 240 FPS, and it is capped at 240 for me right now. If I actually unleash the full power of this thing, it will actually rocket up to beyond the 300s right now, and that is just because I'm standing on a server with tons of stuff around me and all of the kelp and everything. We know that this isn't the biggest performance update as far as Minecraft goes, but yeah, I decided to cap it a little bit further down simply because, for a start, I don't need unlimited frame rate when I play video games. I'm pretty sure my eyes can't really process more than 60 FPS anyway, but also because there's this horrible like ringing noise that happens that's very, very faint in the background, but I think it's just the way graphics cards process white and stuff. Like, sometimes that tends to generate these weird kind of tones in my headphones, which I don't really like. But anyway, I'm kind of skipping over the fact that I now have a 1080 Ti and a whole bunch of storage and a whole bunch of processing power. You can see all of my my stats up there in the top right of the debug screen there. I'm going to hide that, but you can find out more about my new PC on the About page of my channel. I've also got a brand new monitor hooked up here. I'm running a 3-monitor setup, or at least I will be once my 3rd monitor cable arrives. Had to order that separately. So I am absolutely chuffed to bits with this thing, and I can already feel it's going to make me a ton more productive, and I want to put that to good use. So let's head over to Spawn, where I've got a bit of a project planned, but first of all, I want to check the profits at my green stuff shop. Alright, here we are, back over at Pix's Green Stuff. Let's see if the slime block mechanism fails us today. Nope, actually kind of worked, although it did give me a bit of a pat on the rear as we went through there. Here we are, back again. I think I need to dial in some of the settings here. My brightness is set to moody right now, and yeah, I've definitely got to reconfigure some of the stuff in this Minecraft install. I've only just reinstalled Optifine and stuff. Oh yes, we have ourselves 16 diamonds in here. I also have a couple of player heads, some zombie pigman heads in my inventory because I took those away from the nether. Somebody had made like a mock-up of a wither outside of the spawn portal, and I figured we may as well just take that down now because I think the joke had been played out. Let's see. Oh, we sold some kelp blocks. Fantastic. Might get on some of those in the near future. I don't think I really had much in the way of leaf blocks left here, although there is 1 diamond in there. Thank you to whoever left that. Let's take a quick look and see if there's anything in the books here. I think this was a joke. I asked Beastie about that in Discord, and he said that he hadn't left any such requests, so I imagine that's somebody making a joke at his expense. Sorry about that, Beastie. That's not what the shop is for. And ooh, we have some emerald ore at the Emerald Ore Exchange. Wonderful stuff. Well, I'm very glad of that. Thank you to whoever dropped that off. We're putting the emerald ore safely away where it cannot be ruthlessly fortuned for emerald drops. And it seems like the Picklesworth, despite having promised to supply us with vines and pickles over here, hasn't started that yet. Or maybe he's been doing that in his own episodes. Somebody's bought a Zloy head. Very nice. But yeah, we'll have to talk to the Picklesworth at some point and see if he was still interested in going into business, because if not, I can probably come up with something myself, especially if he said he has a really good vine farm idea. Maybe I can look out for a tutorial by him or something like that and see if we can supply those ourselves. But for the most part, business seems to be chugging along here. 20 diamonds is really not bad. In fact, I'm going to pop those in my ender chest right now so that I can grab hold of those. In fact, maybe I'll bring an ender chest with me in case we need to break those back out again, because there have been a few things at spawn that I've missed, considering I haven't really been making that many videos here on DV and I would absolutely love to check these out before they go away for good, because this has been the season of spooks. We've had ourselves a lovely Halloween here. I actually had a bunch of people come to the door for once, which was really cool. We hadn't had that many trick-or-treaters last year when we'd only just moved into the house, so this year, a bit of a change. We got like maybe 15 or 20 kids, I think, not all at once, obviously. They came sort of in bits and pieces throughout the evening, but yeah, here in the UK, we kind of go in for Halloween. We sort of do and sort of don't. It's nowhere near as big as it is in the United States, but it is definitely a big enough deal that you'll find some people, stocking up on candy around this time of year. But there's still a little bit left over, so there's plenty for us. Right, step right up to get a trick or a treat. I think this is something Silent Whisperer did. There's a little trick or treat stand here. So I guess I'd better remove all of my armor and maybe even put my tools away as well. We will see. Let's see what we get. Now, do I have any room in here? I guess I do. This is my equipment shulker box, sort of. So let's pop some of the stuff in here. Don't want to lose anything that would be too vital to us in case there's anything terrible about to happen. And I guess we'll put some of the food in there as well. The rest of this should not be a huge problem. And I left myself without a pickaxe, but I think this should be outside of the radius of anything that's going to severely damage us. Here go 42 levels. Let's see if we get a trick or a treat. One free shulker at the end is nigh. Well, there we go, folks. Not bad. Thank you so much for that treat. I'm very excited to have a free shulker box because I've been using them like Billy-O over at my base, let me tell you. So it's all of my stuff just sat in here for absolutely no reason at this point, but you never know. There could have been something awful. I'll have to check the other DVers videos and see if anything untoward happened to them, but that looks like everything we had. May as well grab the bow as well. So I have been checking out the snapshots here and there, and there's some very exciting stuff on the way. I did make a quick snapshot video about the Pillager Beast, which I'm so excited about, but there may well be some very cool stuff coming our way in future. Some stuff that I'm not entirely sure about as well. Things like these new crafting stations that seem to be popping up, but currently don't really have a purpose. We'll have to see if they do anything with those in upcoming snapshots. But there we go. Free cake, not poisonous. Well, I've just eaten a potato, so I'll have to leave that well enough alone. Now, that's the trick-or-treat stand. We had some Halloween decorations here. I think this might have been courtesy of Daphne Elaine, and I don't know if I can buy any of those, or maybe these were just kind of there for decoration. That's Beastie's ice stall, and I think the rest of the stuff around here was just decorative. There were just kind of jack-o'-lanterns and cobwebs up everywhere and that kind of stuff, and they did a good old job at decorating Spawn while leaving the place relatively untouched. It's a nice little bit of Halloween touches, and goodness knows what we're going to do for the holiday season, for Christmas and so forth, because there is going to be a ton of like complicated terrain and terraforming and stuff here to lay snow down around. So we will see. Maybe some of these jack-o'-lanterns will get repurposed for snow golems. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to do while I was here is scope out this little plot that I've reserved over here, because I want to build a post office for the Decidedly Vanilla server, and I haven't exactly built this at the height of the server's activity. It feels like a lot of people have kind of slackened off what they've been doing lately because they've got other commitments, or because maybe they're just a little bit burnt out on Minecraft now that we've been going hell for leather for the last sort of 3 months or so. But I feel like a post office should be built here so that people can get some messages here and there when they manage to log in. And I've set out a plot in this terracotta around here that has been, I think it's a decent sort of size. It might see a little bit of expansion, but there's plenty of room around it, so we should find that there is a whole bunch of space here we can build in. The problem right now is that I found this while I was looking around, and that is a shaft that goes down to bedrock. There is a water drop there and a bubble column that comes back up, and that seems to be somebody's strip mine. Let me hop down here and take a quick look, because it's nice and safe when you come down here. You can hop out into here, and then when you go around the corner, it seems like somebody has been digging this out in quite an organized fashion. There's a diagonal that way, there's a couple of shafts this way. It's just a standard issue strip mine as far as I can tell. It leads up into an abandoned mine shaft. I assume that's what that is. Up there, it all seems to be oak, and there's some lava bubbling away behind these walls, but it really doesn't seem like anything that people are planning to return to. I did drop a message in the Discord to see if anybody could lay claim to this, but it doesn't seem to be something that they are actively working on right now. The signs don't say anything like, claimed by whoever, like Silent Whisperer or Schnicks or whoever's been building around Spawn, hasn't really done anything with this. So I'm hoping what I can do is either just cover it up completely, or maybe move these water columns and water drops to a spot that's still within the boundaries of what they've got there with the strip mine, but is maybe a little bit less in the way of what I want to build here. Because I need a fairly central location for this, and I've sort of slept on the whole idea of building anything at spawn, and so a lot of the more central locations have already been claimed. So it would be nice to get something done over here. And I reckon that's probably what we're going to do in today's episode. I've got an idea for a decent sort of sandstone build and the mechanisms that are going to go into this post office to alert people that the mail has been delivered and there is something waiting for them here is actually something I'm really excited about. So maybe we'll cut to a little bit of a time lapse as I build this thing, and then I can explain in more detail how it's all going to work. With a little bit more off-camera work, I have decided I'm going to hold off for the moment because we are lacking a certain amount of materials for the inside of this thing. And I wanted to explain a little bit more about what exactly it is we're doing here before we kind of continue with the build. And I think the build is going to have to wait because I've actually got a really busy weekend ahead of me. I'm heading up north to a friend's wedding, so that's kind of going to take priority, and I want to make sure I can get this episode out to you guys before I go and get ready for that. So the idea behind this is a post office, of course, and the idea is that basically everybody's chest in here is going to have a beacon underneath it. Now, that's a lot of beacons, I hear you say, and you are entirely correct in that. We have 24 chests here, I think. There are 3 rows of 8, and there aren't that many people on the server, but I figured I would leave a little bit of room so that people can pick whichever chest they want. I still haven't filled in the paintings on this other side here because I need to go back and get some more materials for the paintings, but the idea is that the painting hides a comparator. And so what happens is that you place a beacon underneath here. In fact, this row over here is the only one that actually has the stuff for a beacon underneath it. Right now it's just got the dirt and then a block of wood, and then underneath there is a flat row of 3x3s of iron. So basically like the row of iron blocks just kind of continues all the way to the end of this row right now, but the iron farm needs to produce a little bit more iron before I can really fill this out. Either that or I'll have to ask Silent Whisperer, who is going to be helping me collect all of the beacons for this place, also has a gold farm, so we might be able to get some gold blocks from him. Apparently he sells them in a black market somewhere around spawn, but it's so artfully concealed that I'm not exactly sure where it is right now. Anyway, the idea is that we're going to have beacons placed on each one of these kind of areas underneath the chests. And chests are transparent blocks, so a beacon beam will go right up through them. So you place a beacon down there where I have removed that wood block. We'll put a stone block there for an example. That's where the beacon goes. And then directly above that, you put a pane of stained glass, or as it might be, a block of stained glass. It might actually work a little bit better because then you'll be able to see it kind of holding up the chest. And so the idea is that each of these beacons is colored and is kind of represents a specific member of the server, right? So, for example, Kane83 might have an orange beacon because his outfit is orange. Zloy might have a black one because he's a necromancer, or a green one because he's a zombie. You know what I mean? Mine's probably going to be blue because, well, look at me. And the idea being that anytime anybody goes up to one of these and there isn't anything in that, I'm going to have to light this up. I'm so out of the habit of lighting up my builds because I've been building on a mushroom island for this entire season, and building at spawn is a completely different experience. So I'll have to figure out the lighting in here later, but I've left a lot of floor space for that reason. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So what you do is, naturally, the beacon is not going to be on because this block up here is actually preventing sky access to it, right? But the minute you put an item into one of these chests, it opens up sky access, the beacon activates, and then for miles around, as long as it's within render distance anyway, you'll be able to see that a beacon of this color has shot up into the sky, and that means you've got mail. This is actually a concept that I found on a Mumbo Jumbo video, but not on his actual video. It was in the comments. I will put the comment up on screen if I can find it, but somebody suggested that the messaging system between him and Grian could be linked up to a beacon, and anytime they received messages from each other, the beacon could change color. So I thought, why not just use that as the basis for a post office on a fairly well-established server where we can get a lot of beacons, especially when we have grinders like Silent Whisperer who will just kill withers all day long, right? So the idea is that anytime anybody leaves mail for you, this block here opens up, and that allows the beacon to have sky access, which means the beacon turns on. Doesn't need to have any kind of effects or anything like that. Silent, I've been talking to him off camera. He's very keen on them all having like beacon effects and stuff, but they're not going to be on most of the time anyway. So I figure that is kind of by the by. If we want to have like, you know, you can get indicated to you that you've got mail because when you get in range you get haste or something. Sure, that works. That works fine, I guess. But yeah, the idea is that each person will have a beacon of their kind of chosen color, and then whenever they see that the beacon is lit, that means they've got themselves some mail, right? I feel like this is kind of cool. I like this as a concept, and oh gosh, there are spiders everywhere. But the thing is, I do need to make sure we can fill out the rest of the materials underneath here before I put a roof on this thing, and gosh, this is why we need to put a roof on this thing, because spawn is a freaking death trap. But then once we get all of the materials under here, we get the beacons and stuff in place, it will be so much easier to finish off this build, decide what I'm doing with the roof, and call it good and unleash it on the server. My thinking about this is that people can just come in, they can pop a sign on or next to, probably in front of or something like that, one of these chests, or maybe behind them, although it might be kind of difficult to see who's got mail if the beacon beam is going up in front of it, but you get the idea. They can label one of these chests however they like, and that will kind of be their chest from that point onwards, and they can choose the glass color. So they can just come in with a single block of stained glass, pop it under there, and then that becomes their chest. That's my plan, anyway, and I hope you guys like the concept. Hopefully, I will have a little bit more of it to show you by the time we get around to the next episode, but that is going to do it for today. Got lots of stuff planned for this weekend, and I feel really bad that having just got this PC, I'm going to have to spend the weekend away from it. But of course, got to help my friend get married. Got to get all that stuff done. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Decidedly Vanilla. My name has been Pixlriffs. Don't forget to leave a like on the episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye for now.